Alright, welcome back everyone. Clock. Alright, now that we're done chiming, I've been wanting a Tamiya rally car for a while. This is not a rally car, obviously a TT01 touring car. It even came with slick chassis. I just got through building the chassis and the body is not yet painted or anything like that. But after building a TT02 rally car here that had problems within the first 5 minutes of driving, the front suspension is not designed for any kind of, well, air, right? This is a touring car technically, even though it's a rally car. It's a touring car. It's a touring car that looks like a rally car. Okay, get that straight. Tamiya, I don't know if you. I'm not going to spend the $300+ to buy their so-called rally car. And Tamiya makes some really nice looking bodies. So I wanted to go the cheap route again like I did before in the past. And I got this guy, you may know it as a WL Toys. I'm in the process of taking it apart, but there's a wing. I've not even removed the plastic from the wheels or the body, so that's kind of what it looks like. There's some parts right there. Comes with a transmitter, charger, and a battery somewhere. There's a battery. Alright, so the wheelbase is not quite there. Its track width is about a little bit too big, about a ½ inch too big from left to right. Excuse me. But this already has oil-filled dampeners, and it looks like there's bearings in there in the steering system, so it's got a pretty good steering system, but it's got a 5-wire servo, which is the downside. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use what it is until it breaks, and then I'll go with more modern electronics. Decided to go this way because it's cheaper in the long run than buying oil-filled shocks, buying a radio, buying a servo. No, I have a spare servo. And still being stuck with a shitty-ass chassis that just does not perform off-road at all. So here's a TT01 chassis that I've built. I don't know, I might sell it, I don't know, or hold on to it. I just built it just because I want to see. So there's the wheelbase. So we'll line it up with the rear wheel and then compare it to the front wheel. So roughly, just visually looking at it, looks like we got about an inch from the center point here to the center point there. About an inch. The tires are a little bit tall for the body, and I'm not going to show you much on the body today other than what I showed you on that picture right there. The Tamiya steering is excellent by comparison. There's a lot of slop in here, but hey, this is $100, right? You can't. It's hard to buy a radio, servo, and battery. This came with a battery, although not the size I want. I got some other 2S batteries. It's hard to beat. Oil-filled checks, and they're adjustable, right? You got some adjustability in there. So, plan is just to cut it in half and extend it. You might be thinking, well, that's kind of ridiculous. So I've taken one of their older models years ago, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, or more years ago. I don't know. I don't remember. It's on the YouTube somewhere. But anyway, I took one of their 1/18 scale buggies and I turned it into a 1/10 scale touring car. And I got Formula 1 rear tires on the back with a 14mm hex, all using the same WL Toys hardware except modern electronics nowadays. We've got Formula 1 tires on there. Had to do a little bit of custom modification. But this car moves out at about 27 miles an hour. Even though the front tires are different, they are the same height. This car surprisingly handles really well. And just to give you an idea, that's what it is right there. Alright, so this is easily done. Here's the bottom look, the chassis. Of course, this is a metal chassis that I had on my truck. This is basically the buggy and the truck were the same fucking vehicle. And I had aluminum parts all throughout. I just cut it in half, and as you can tell right here, I had to extend it about 4 inches. It works. So that's very easily done, and this is the least time consuming. And as you can tell, it's been sitting a while. And the main reason why I built this chassis, I was thinking, well, maybe I can just put these differentials front and back, because that's where the suspension system ties into. I can somehow attach them to this chassis, maybe cut it somewhere and cut it somewhere, drop it in, screw it in through the bottom, and be done with it. And I just think that's just going to be too much work. If it even works, I'd just rather keep the chassis whole, maybe even sell it, I don't know yet. And the other bonus is it already has bearings in it. Every freaking Tamiya kit I've ever experienced in my life, you always have to buy bearings. I did not buy bearings with this. This has got the plastic bushings in it. In fact, I've not even finished installing it all the way. I just wanted to get a rough idea of what the kit, the wheelbase, and so on and so forth was like, so I can fit the body, fit the chassis, make this chassis match this chassis. And it should be one and done fairly easily. Then I'll have to figure out body post mounts somewhere from the Tamiya body post. And those F1 tires, by the way, if you want a pair of those are also sold by Tamiya. 14mm hex. I had to make some custom adapters for them. It's not hard to do, but there's a video on that somewhere on YouTube as well. Anyway, too easy. So if you guys want something different, you can't quite buy it. I think the Audi would make a good rally car. I really do. The Audi used to be known for rally racing anyway back in the day. I don't know if they still do rally, but they were known for it back in the day, along with Porsche too. A lot of people don't know Porsche used to do rally racing. So I wanted a good chassis, rigid chassis, spiked tires, or somewhat, I'd call these more like a carpet type tire, but they're really, really fine in comparison to the slicks that come with this particular kit. The TTO2 kit is actually a little more user friendly as far as assembly is concerned. The way they designed this is really fucking ridiculous. You got the axle halves that bolt this direction in there instead of, or not the axle half, but the differential cover. It bolts in this way. I don't know, it just seems really funky, like some sort of overpaid Nissan engineer designed it. And then same on the back side here. Well, stay tuned. Have a good day.